but I want to talk a little bit about quarterback.
And at the time, he wasn't our number one QB.
He wasn't. He is now, and he at that point in time, I think, was only given the billing from Charles Power of best senior season. I mean, he did numbers like Good Will Hunting his senior year.
He went absolutely
crazy.
Nuts.
Went absolutely
Won
crazy.
Gator Player of the Year, or Gatorade. He's also Gator Player of the Year.
Yeah, heck yeah.
But
I hope he's Gator Player of the Year.
He also won Gatorade Player of the Year, and it was one of these deals where I'd been anticipating it because, like, talking to Charles throughout the summer, he was kind of pushing me in that direction that DJ Lagway would end up number one. He just wanted to see his senior year and fully believed that he would come through. Every Saturday morning that I woke up and I checked DJ Lagway's stat sheet, it was like a crooked number 7 for touchdowns, like
That's
7,
crazy.
6, 4 in the first half, like numbers like that.
I like that. Crooked number. I like that.
Crazy. Just crazy stats, but not just 1 week, like every week. He was doing that every week, throwing the football, and he looks really good. I mean, he looks physically developed. We see a lot of these quarterbacks come through that are 6'4", 190, you know, and you're like, oh yeah, great frame, gonna look good in college. But DJ Lagway steps into Gainesville with the frame and the ability to, they got Graham Mertz, they're set for this year. Graham Mertz had a good season last year. I think he'll build on that. So it's ideal. I think it's ideal situation for him to walk into.
100%. And he's already enrolled, so he's going to kind of get comfortable and learn how to be a college student, figure out where classes are. How do you, get from A to B, from workouts to where you got to go for study hall? Like, there's so much thrown at you. That's why I love the fact that he's already enrolled and going to have a chance to sit behind Graham Mertz. We had Nick De La Torre on the On3 Roundtable. I want to say it was somewhere around a week or two ago, as soon as DJ Lagway was announced as the top quarterback in 2024 in those final rankings. And he said, look, I don't see any reason to redshirt the guy. Like, I know Graham Mertz is our guy this year. There's not a quarterback competition, but like, with as good an athlete as DJ Lagway is, with his size and what he brings from a running standpoint, like we could see him get in the game a little bit here, if not garbage time, maybe situationally.
Yeah, because if he's as good as we think he is, then he's not going to be there for that fourth year anyway.
Yeah.
Regardless, like even if he does sit out in redshirt, like you might as well just get him in as much as you can his freshman year, hand him the reins in year 2, let him have at it year 3, and he's probably if he is what we think he is, then he's probably gone after that anyway. So yeah.
Hey, let him cook, right?
Yep.
That's what I can say. Let him cook. Let
just
DJ
kind of let it
Lagway
simmer
cook a little bit
for the first year, and then let him cook.
Let him really sizzle there. Let's stay in the Sunshine State though. Luke Kromenhoek, one of the final 5 stars. He was given the best upside or most upside from Charles Power for his quarterback superlatives from this class. And during the signing day show, he's like, I want to make sure I put a qualifier on this as well, developmental upside. I mean, the best quarterback prospect they've signed in Tallahassee since Jameis Winston. He won a pretty nice trophy out there, I believe, the Heisman as well as a national championship trophy in Tallahassee. I mean, this is massive for Florida State to have their quarterback of the future under Mike Norvell.
The only thing he needs to do is change his last name to start with a W. then he's guaranteed Heisman winner because you have Ward, Wanke, and Winston.
And Womanhawk.
Now you need Womanhawk.
But
Luke Kromenhoek, I agree with Charles for giving him the highest upside because of his story and where he comes from. Florida State offered him a scholarship before he started a varsity game. He committed to Florida State before he started a varsity game. So Florida State was on board with him. They watched him, and then look at I mean, it's incredible. If you're a Florida State coach, you gotta really pat yourself on the back because he finishes as a 5-star recruit, and at the time had not taken a snap at the time that they accepted his commitment as a starting quarterback. So obviously, Luke Kromenhoek out of Savannah, Georgia, he has all the tools, right? He has the size. He just needs a little bit more experience under his belt. So you can see why Charles designated him as the top upside.
Josh, I got to take for you here on Florida State. I don't know if Mike Norvell gets enough credit nationally for what he does with quarterbacks. I mean, Jordan Travis, he went into Mike Norvell's office and is like, hey, should I play receiver? And Mike Norvell's like, nope, calm down. Like, you're going to get it. Just hang with us. And then also Brady White, when he was at Memphis, Brady White was a really high-profile guy coming out of, I believe it was like the 2015 class in California. And he bounced around, I think, a little bit, ended up at Memphis, ended up having a pretty solid career under Mike Norvell. And so now DJ Uyunglele, I guess, is the next quarterback in line. But Luke Kromenhoek being of a 5-star, variety, another notch in the belt for Mike Mike Norvell, I mean, I think he deserves more credit with the quarterbacks. Fair?
Yeah, in terms of development, absolutely. I mean, there's times where Jordan Travis, like you said, didn't know if he had a role on the team. Like he was not feeling confident about himself as a quarterback. They had a early on in that tenure, they had to talk him into staying on the team.
Yeah,
like not transferring. Like I think he was just going to hang it up in general. And goes on to be one of the most exciting quarterbacks that we've seen in the last couple of years. So yeah, Mike Norvell will have he'll have a blast developing Luke Kromenhoek.
Well, here's another one I like from the superlatives. So the new NCAA video game's coming out. And by nature of this game, supposedly coming out soon, I think we'll get to play with Nebraska and Dylan Raiola. Charles has him as the best deep ball thrower of this whole class. That means I'm playing with Nebraska. I'm dialing up 4 verts. We're going air raid. What do you think about that? Dylan Raiola, best deep ball thrower. Tons of ability, right?
Absolutely has a missile launcher for an arm. I mean, he was throwing them out to, because remember, he played at Buford High School. So he had KJ Bolden running routes for him. And I don't think he could overthrow KJ Bolden. I mean,
that's true.
They were hooking up nonstop. It was really exciting to watch. So yeah, I think Dylan Raiola is going to bring some sort of excitement to that Nebraska offense. Much needed.
I mean, he is, for a lot of people's money, like he is the perceived savior of Nebraska football. And that's not necessarily like fair to put on a true freshman, but I do think there's something to be said for, okay, you have this enormously high-profile quarterback coming to Lincoln under a new coach. It's this perceived new era. Like, he is the guy to put Nebraska football back on the map. And the thing that I like about him, Josh, I think he welcomes that. Like, I don't think Dylan Raiola is walking into this thing just trying to get Instagram likes and trying to, get some clout. Like, I think he genuinely is signed up for the mission of, okay, I am the guy. It's on my shoulders. It's on me to bring Nebraska back to at least bowl eligibility. And I'm sure they have much more than that in mind.
And that's what you want. That's what you need. I mean, there's been others that have gone to Lincoln, Nebraska with the intention of turning this thing around.
Sure.
Now it's Dylan Raiola's turn. And
yes,
I like it.
I cut you off.
No, I like it. I mean, I was going to say, I'll bet on Dylan Raiola.
It's kind of like, you ever read like King Arthur in Excalibur, the one who's going to pull it out of the, like, Dylan Raiola is trying to pull the bowl eligibility Excalibur
been dozens and dozens of other men that have tried and failed, and now it is your turn.
Dude, how awesome would that be?
Are you the one?
Awesome. I'd be all for it. I'd be all about it. But best deep ball thrower. Let's see. Let's get to a little Julian Sayin action.
Okay, what's he at?
Formerly Alabama. Now he was formerly signed with Alabama. Transfer portal, short-term signee, whatever kind of verbiage you want to put to it. He's in Columbus. He is Charles Power's most accurate quarterback of this cycle.
So Dylan Raiola had the missile launcher. Julian Sayin.
That would be, though, huh?
That would be a combo. Julian Sayin has the rocket launcher with the heat-seeking missile on it, and I like that for Ohio State because they have all the talent in the world at wide receiver. So it's just like, hey, get them the ball. Just get them the ball. Like, you don't need a launcher. It can be right here. It could be here. It could be here. Yeah. But just get them the ball, and that's what Julian Sayin's going to do. You don't want to call him a game manager because he's not that at all, but he's going to go in there and manage that offense, and I think he's going to do it at a really high capability.
I mean, the fact that he's going to Ohio State with how stacked that quarterback room is, that just, again, going back to like the competitive makeup
Bama
of these
was stacked
guys,
too. I mean,
Bama was also stacked.
It's not like they were empty there. So
I love it.
I don't think it was a competition. I don't think he left because of competition. Like, I don't think he left because, Ohio State needs me and Alabama doesn't. Like, I think he's a great quarterback, and he committed to a school 3,000 miles away to play for Nick Saban.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being real, I love the fact that he's not. Because, I mean, I think in today's day and age with the portal, if a guy isn't, the top player in the class, or if there's another quarterback in his class, he's like, maybe I'll decommit, maybe I'll transfer, maybe I'll this.
If the coaches can do it anytime they want to do it, then the players should be able to do it whenever they want to do it.
And Julian's saying, I mean, he's standing on business. He's like, I'll play at Bama, I'll play at Ohio State, I don't care who's in the quarterback room. If you will have me, I'm betting on my most accurate arm in this class per Charles Power, and we'll be about it.
Because we really also like Air Nolan.
Yes,
I mean, he's out of Langston Hughes. 100%. He's a winner. He puts up video game type numbers as well, and he's not backing down from competition either. So that Ohio State quarterback room's loaded.
I love it. One more to get to here, Ryan Puglisi, who we talked about a little bit before. Charles, when we talked about this with him, sort of gave a little smirk to us. He is his biggest gunslinger in this class. And then we asked Charles, like, how do you even like deduce who this is? Because you're not looking at stats. Are you looking at who's just uncorking it? Who's saying YOLO twice a game?
I think you got to look at haircut.
You got to look at haircut.
Like the flow. Does he have flow?
Absolutely.
Is it nice? You know, I think you got to look at everything.
Swagger.
But swagger, just he's a bulldog in every sense of the term. He's a bulldog, and that's why he's a gunslinger.
How do you feel about your quarterback if he's a gun? Do you want your quarterback to be a gunslinger? In the Josh Newberg offense, will you take the gunslinger, or do you want the guy who's a little bit more prototypical, kind of that, 6'5" NFL
I think in the
prototype?
college level, you want a player that can make his own plays. Like you want, we just talked about a Jordan Travis, but those guys that like a Drake May and a Sam Howell, to me, those are gunslingers. When we're talking about the true definition of the term, guys that are not afraid to put the ball through a tight window because they need the yards. They're not looking for the check down. They're looking for the first down. They're looking for the touchdown. And Ryan Puglisi, from what we've seen, fits that bill.
And I think to kind of put a exclamation mark on this whole segment, like in modern college football, it is becoming less and less of a want to have someone who's a dual threat quarterback who can create their own plays, who can be, a gunslinger, so to speak. I think it's more of a need. Like, I mean, you look
or
across,
you're at a deficiency if you don't have
100%. I mean, you look at the college football playoff this past season, all four of those quarterbacks, I thought, had some mobile ability to them. Not that they were all running quarterbacks, but like Quinn Ewers lost weight so he could create more plays. Jalen Milroe, I mean, his play speaks for itself. J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix Jr. early in his career was kind of a dual threat. So I think that's something now in college football, just like what you said, you have to be able to create your own plays. If you don't have that, you're kind of on the outside looking in of where modern college football is.
Or just go
headed.
play for Georgia where you have the big front, and you can sit back there like Carson Beck. But yeah, I think at this point you're at a disadvantage if you're a coach that is not playing with a dual threat quarterback.
Without
it's
question.
just the offenses that are run, and also as quarterback, I mean, we don't see many senior quarterbacks anymore. So if you want to play a freshman, hey, take some of that production off of them through the air and let them run it.
Yeah, without question. Without question.
Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.